Welcome to the Shipsgonnahappen podcast show. It's Saturday, November 13th, 2021. My name's Tony B. Alongside me, as usual, my co-host, my partners, David B. and Timmy D. Our views are purely news-driven and do not express the views of any transportation provider or any business entity that uses any transportation provider. It's just three guys with 70 years of experience discussing transportation news and topics that affect the industry that brings us the products we order straight to our docks or doors. We do it for the transportainment side of things, right, Timmy D?
I love it. Transportainment, folks. That's what we do.
Transportainment. You can catch us on our home base, Shipsgonnahappen.com, Twitter, Rumble, Facebook, iTunes, and SoundCloud.com too. Today's topics: record profits in the shipping industry. Number 2, vaccine mandate. But first, we have a special interview with a driver named Adrian from Unlimited Cargo. David B., how you doing this morning, brother?
Good morning to the both of you. I'm doing really well on this crisp, brisk November morning. Transportainment, we are the transportainment show of all shows, is what we are. Today's show brought to you by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Good place to go. Get some good food, good beverages, chat it up with the locals, and hear some live music on a Friday night. Great Divide, downtown Indianapolis. Timmy D, how are you, my friend?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Be remiss if I didn't say Happy Veterans Day earlier this week.
Yeah.
Veterans Day for everyone out there. Tony B, thank you for your service.
Thank you,
Timmy,
brother.
for your service.
Yeah, so Happy Veterans Day to everyone out there. I'm excited to have Adrian on the hook here with Unlimited Cargo. That's going to shed a little light on something that everybody must have, and that's that transportainment need for the transportation.
I like it, transportainment. Awesome. So, David B., you wanna kick us off here?
Yeah,
with
let's do it
with Adrian.
Yeah. Good morning, Adrian. How are you today, sir?
Morning, doing good. How about you guys?
Doing well. Thanks for having on. Thanks for coming on today. So, give us a little bit of background. Our friend Dan with First Call Logistics today is why you're here with us, and would like to thank First Call for hooking us up with you. Give us a little bit of background on your driving over the years, if you don't mind.
With Dan, I've worked for, I still do. We still do some business together, but I think about 7 years ago, he worked for Martin, and I mainly haul for Martin even now, so that's how we got to know each other. He was a broker, a salesperson, just about everything he was doing.
Yeah.
So we just struck a relationship.
Yeah. So how did you get started in the trucking industry?
My father was a trucker before me, and I had my eye on the trucking for a long time. But when I turned 21, I got my CDL.
Woo, got it early. I like it.
Yep. I bought my first W900 a couple months later, and just back in 2008. Just haven't been trucking since.
So is your dad still with us?
Yes, he works with me.
If you would, thank him for his years of service, if you would, please, for giving, and all these years in transportation. So, do you just do reefer? Do you just mainly haul reefer units and then?
Yeah, mainly reefer. When I started, I did a lot of Northwest and California reefers, and now I just do Midwest, and sometimes I'd go West, Northwest for family. I got family out there.
Sure. One of the things that we're going to talk about later in the show is, the vaccine mandate that the government's implementing. Do you see that as being an issue in the industry?
Yeah, because of the politics that the truckers and drivers possess. Yeah, it could be a big deal.
Yeah,
I don't think this industry has a lot of liberals, so I think, yeah, maybe. I talked about it with my my drivers. I have 8 drivers, and they don't want to hear about vaccines at all. So I'm just assuming that everybody's probably dealing with the same problem.
Yeah, the labor secretary came out earlier in the week and said that drivers would be exempt, and I just kind of was wanting to get your thoughts on how other drivers and what you were thinking about that. So you have 8 drivers and they stay busy all the time. You've got, you guys are pretty busy. It's definitely.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Short.
Yeah. It's too busy.
So We talk about on the show often about how there's a shortage of drivers. About 80,000 drivers is what the industry needs. What would you say, Adrian, to help get, what advice or what information would you have on trying to alleviate the driver shortage?
The best thing, but it's the hardest, and I don't think it's going to happen now. Now, even back in 2008, I caught a little bit of trucking where you had freedom, and it was a lifestyle. And just today, it's not a lifestyle as much as it's just a job. And this is not a job. I mean, I'm on vacation 24/7. That's how I see it. And
nice,
in my opinion, if they turn it into a job, that's fine. But I don't think many people are going to want to do this a job away from, family and this and that. It's got to be rewarding again,
Right.
What's the point of getting on the road and then sitting in a parking lot? Nobody wants to do that.
Right.
Again. But I do, in the beginning, you could help to have some regulation on new drivers. And then once they get into a pattern, then you can cut them loose. And, like guys like me, you can regulate me all you want. This is how I drive. And I've, haven't been pulled over and I don't cause any problems,
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. All right. And so do you own your own trucking company?
Yes.
And so the name of the company is
Unlimited Cargo.
Unlimited Cargo. Nice.
Yes.
And how long have you had that?
Since 2014.
Good. And it's been a good business for you?
Yeah. Yes, it has. I mean, in the beginning, it was a little bit challenging, but now it's starting to be very good. Yes.
So
lately, it's probably one of the businesses you want to be in right now.
Yeah.
Sure.
For guys like me.
Go ahead, Tony. Go first.
You sure? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Adrian, I detect a little bit of an accent. Were you originally born in Indiana, or you?
I came here when I was a child. I'm Romanian.
Oh wow, awesome, man!
Yeah.
So your dad was the first one to come over then?
Yes.
So then he hopped in a truck, got a trucking job, and you grew up watching that and got interested in it.
Yeah. I've always thought it was a cool job to have, or whatever, some cool job or something to do. Yeah,
it's the American
and once
dream,
I
right?
got into it, it clicked.
Man, that's awesome.
Good. Yeah, like you said, you're on vacation 24/7 or whatever, so that's nice.
Yep. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I wish more people would kind of have that, way of looking
attitude.
At things.
Yeah.
So
some of the infrastructure deal that's coming down the pike, Adrian, has when we were younger, we had to take shop class, wood class, things like that in high school. Now they're given the option to get a CDL. So I'm thinking, we talked about that on the show a lot. I think that'll help the industry. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I've done the technical courses when I was in high school, and I know what that is. But I don't know, man. It's too much for an 18-year-old kid, or I don't know, 7. It's too much. I don't think it's possible.
Well, that's what Dan said too. I mean, that's the feedback we're kind of getting, is that it might be a little too much for an 18-year-old.
What separates? You got yours at 21, which is awesome to hear, by the way, Adrian. Again, I appreciate you joining the Shipsgonnahappen show. You got your CDL at 21, which is the very first year you're legal to do so in the United States at that time. What do you think the difference separates an 18-year-old from a 21-year-old?
Just a little bit more mature, just a tiny bit. But I've made mistakes on 21, and I'm not even sure 21 is good. It's 21 is right on the edge. I think 18 is over the edge, big time. I don't know. I would not go for that. Or you could, but with heavy regulation.
What if you, Adrian, did a 18-year-old to 20-year-old could only do like, say you're in Chicago and they could only do like the county of Cook County or Chicago or.
See, I would think you want them on the longer hauls. I would think that you'd want them to run from here to St. Louis, right? You want them to get them on an open highway versus all the street traffic. I think you'd want to get on the major interstate. So maybe do like a 6 hours. So you could run Indy to Columbus and Columbus back. You could do a turn basically.
That wouldn't be bad.
Let me ask you this, Adrian, kind of on that token. Do you think a lot of younger people don't look at this industry because when you are over the road, you say you're on vacation all the time. You're always traveling. You're enjoying free sights. Well, you're getting paid to go and travel. Do you think by offering or companies offering to be home every night would help attract more so that those 24, those 25-year-olds are back home with their friends versus always staying in different cities? Do you think that would help bring more drivers or more attention to the industry if we were able to offer that?
Being home every night, like I don't really mind being away. For me, other people, if you have not 18-year-old. When I was 18, I didn't care about home time. I cared about being out here, necessarily.
It's true. You want to get away from home, right? When you're young, you're like, hey, now I'm out. Let's go.
See the world. Yeah.
I don't think you do.
Let me ask you this. Go ahead. Go ahead, Adrian.
I doubted that it would work even locally, like you guys are trying to say that locally may work.
Well, I think here's what I was thinking. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And Tim's right. You probably would want them to drive more miles than more in a regional area, like a city limit. But what I was going to, because part of the thing too, I think with hiring truck drivers, especially for the less, you do truckload mainly, but the less than truckload, those people are coming home every night, right? So they're going out unless they're on a line haul run, right? So let me ask you, when you made your decision to get into trucking, did you know about the less than truckload industry and decided to just do the truckload, or how did you make your distinction on where you were going to go?
I drove when I was 15 and 16 with my dad here and there, I mean, I've always been around trucks. So if a kid is around trucks, grows up around trucks, just like a farmer is around the tractor, I'm okay with it. But I got an 18-year-old brother that has a CDL, and he's just been around us so long because I work with 4 of my brothers,
Okay.
And that's what we do. I trust him versus, somebody that has not been around trucks and doesn't really understand.
It's in his blood.
Yes, it's a little bit different. I'd make some exceptions. I'm saying it's possible, but I don't know if you can go universal with it.
Do you have an 18-year-old kid? A son?
I don't. I'm not. No.
Yeah.
If I had one, you said?
Yeah, I mean, would you, kind of like Tim said, if your 18-year-old kid, it's in his bloodline, right? So you might trust him more than you would.
If if I taught him how to do it right, and I knew that he was not, doesn't have problems, speeding, whatever, issues. I told, even when I talked to my brothers, that only because you don't have speeding tickets, you're a very slow driver and you know what you're doing, I'll let you drive here and there. But that's it. I would not do it. If you had any moving violation, we would not be doing this.
So, Adrian, earlier you mentioned that your brothers are in this industry also?
Yes.
So your 4 brothers and your dad and you are all in the trucking industry.
Yep.
Wow, that's definitely
a good bloodline.
That is a good bloodline.
That's a good bloodline.
That's awesome. And so, how young are you, Adrian? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm going to be 35 in March.
Wow, you're young.
Pretty young.
Another March. I like it. Good job on the March.
So you've already been driving for a lot of years, and you've got a lot of years ahead of you. Do you see yourself staying in this industry until you retire?
I think so. Yeah, I love what I do.
You don't know anything else, right? I mean, this is all you know.
I don't know. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Adrian.
It's easy for me, I mean, and I more than that, I run my trucking company, and I might open up. I do have a brokerage company that I might want to explore. I think just logistics and just moving freight around it's exciting for me. It's cool.
Let me ask you, so you own 8, you have 8 drivers for yourself, and you're talking about exploring the broker opportunity as well. What advantages do you see as a broker over being an asset base with your 8 drivers? What would move you to the broker side, and at the same time, would you still be asset based? Would you offer both services?
Yes. I think it would be more rewarding for me. I would, just to explore something else in this industry for me,
Yeah.
To brokerage is easy compared to trucking,
It is. You're right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The risk is not in brokerage, it's in trucking,
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I don't understand the asset-based companies not holding the brokers accountable. As in, when I say holding them accountable, I'm talking about monetarily. I mean, you would think the asset brokers or the asset-based companies, to include independent drivers or small trucking companies like yourself, could push all brokers out of the industry if they wanted to, right? I mean, in theory.
The broker serves a purpose, I would have to get a salesperson.
Right.
I would talk to somebody, and if my company is not big enough, most contracts are it's going to be quite a, I know for a fact I've talked in the past with customers, and you have to be able to move freight, not, you can move 1 or 2 loads, but mostly it's going to be quite a few, and that just puts me out of business with everybody else if I was to do that, overnight.
Yeah. So touching on what Tim just said too, it brings a point up that I was thinking about. How do you find your loads? So how do you, because you're in a truck, right? So you're driving a lot, so you can't go call on customers all day long. So how do you actually? No, I don't. How do you actually?
So I work with my fiance, and she's top notch. She loves what she does just as like I do, but most of my business is just phone numbers. I mean, connections. That's it.
Wow.
I don't really get on the board, We might get on the board here and there for a reload or something, but
so you don't go to like a bid board or something like that? You don't have a website that you use?
We bid here and there, but we know somebody in that company before we bid usually. It's not.
So it's all relationship build is basically what you're saying. So they call you versus hitting the bid board, and then you're saying, I've got a driver that's going to be in Dallas, Texas. I can take care of that and bring it up to Minnesota, wherever your 8 trucks might be.
Yeah. Yep.
So we're not looking to start a trucking business, but I'm just throwing this out there. So for you're using your relationships, but you can also go to the trucking board, like you said, to reload, to come back. But are there always loads on that board that you could, if you didn't have those relationships, you could bid on and possibly get to?
Yes. The way I do it, because I got access to the back door, usually I can get around, no problem. I've never it. So I've been in business for a long time, and the market's been up and down and, everywhere. And I noticed a little bit of a slowdown, but it's not nowhere near what the board is like, I usually get on the T to keep an eye on the dates and, this.
In all of your years in the business, Adrian, is this the best you've seen the market?
Yeah. Right now, absolutely. But it's the best. But I don't know what the value of that dollar is at the end of the day yet. So
that's a great point.
That's because you're banking it all. You're putting it all away since there's paying you to travel, huh?
Yeah.
How many states?
Do a load today.
How many states have you touched?
Yeah, I touched all of them. I've been on all the little highways because when I got going, that's all I wanted to do. I've been on.
You've been to all 50 states?
Yes. No, not.
Oh, well, 48.
Left.
What do you?
48 plus Canada.
Oh yeah.
Oh, where in Canada you been?
I've been to Montreal. I used to do California to Montreal, Toronto, Ontario, just all over Ontario. Edmonton, I've been there a long time ago.
Where's your favorite place that you've ever been, Adrian? Like the place here that you like the best, the most scenic or whatever?
Most scenic, probably California, but anything in the Northwest, I love.
Beautiful.
Being out there.
Is that where you live? Do you live in the Northwest, or where do you live?
I lived in Portland, Oregon before. Yep.
Okay, nice, beautiful.
Adrian, if you had anybody going to start in this business brand new, what advice would you have for them?
To grind like hell.
There you go.
Amen.
It is a grind, ain't it? You got to stick with it for sure.
Yes, you do. You have to be able. Any business doesn't matter what you do.
I agree with that.
If you're not willing to do the grind, you're probably not going to do it.
And you got to put in your time too, right? Yep. You got to kind of, like you said, to get your, like you said, your contacts and things around. People just call you directly to build those relationships. People get, I think, today's world, people get aggravated, and we're in a society that right now we've got to have the answer right now. When you sit around the table and try to come up with an answer and remember something, now you're on your cell phone right there getting the answer. And I think it's instant gratification society is where we're at. And to your point, Adrian with Unlimited Cargo with us here. To your point, is instant gratification is not how the real world works. You have to wait. You have to buy your time. You got to put in the work, and then it will come. And Adrian, I appreciate you kind of hitting on that. I think that society needs to realize that instant gratification is not happening. And I think the Amazons of the world's kind of created that on the trucking side of it, where you get it next day, and it's not realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that are successful understand this, and the ones that are not, they don't, and that's fine. It is what it is.
Yeah, that's fine that they don't understand, because you do, and you could take up the slack.
There's a lot of some number of companies, trucking companies will open up every year and then they fail. That's exactly when I hear that number. It's like, okay, well, you're not willing to do the grind. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Like in the beginning, I didn't make any money. I made off my truck, but not it was just try to make it another day. Really, insurance is high. Just everything is high, because you don't know what you have an idea, but you're not always getting a best deal. Credit is expensive when you start a business.
Yeah.
So
again, you're listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen show. And Adrian, have you ever considered expanding your fleet?
I've been growing every year, a truck or two here and there. I try to take it easy. The guys that work for me, I pay them very good. I take care of them. They're my family. So I don't try to go out there and hire anybody that walks in the door. And it's not. I mean, most of my guys, none of them have a single moving violation, and that's a killer deal right there.
That's great. So your was it called CSA scores? Or killer. Let me ask you this, because we talk about it a lot on this Ship's Gonna Happen podcast show, is the small fish always getting bought up by the big fish. Have you been offered multiple times? Do you ever plan on selling? At what point, or have you ever thought about what point is breaking time for you to sell if offered?
Right now, it's a good time to cash out.
There you go. Do you want to cash out? Or you want to grow bigger? Do you want to be? No. Do you want to be the ODs, the Yellows, the Estes, the FedExes? Is that what you want to be?
I would. Yes.
The ABFs. You want to be that big, huh?
I would do it, if it goes that way.
Well, I'll tell you what, based on the comments you've been making about the grind and stuff, I think you definitely have the wherewithal to.
Well, speaking to his business acumen, right?
Why don't you just go buy? You should buy, Swift or Knight that's out there. I mean, if you're doing it, well, I don't know who is the biggest player. So reefer's kind of new to us. Who is the biggest trucking reefer company out there?
Reefer, Prime.
Prime distribution.
Yeah, Prime is the biggest.
All right. So when are you buying Prime? When are you buying Prime?
I think somebody
don't
bought
say
it.
never.
That's not how things work out. You don't buy the biggest company. You put them out of business.
No.
You heard it here first on the Ship's Gonna Happen show. Adrian is going to put Prime out of business.
Coming after
Unlimited Cargo's coming for you, just so you know. I like it.
Awesome.
Not coming for them.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks for joining us this Saturday morning.
I can tell you, I get the job done way more efficiently than they do.
Yes,
sir. That's right.
Yeah, no doubt in our mind.
And nothing wrong with big companies out there. Nothing wrong with the primes.
They go big, they go cold, and that's their problem. And
they go
cannot
big.
Escape it.
Say that again. They go what? They go what?
Once they go big, every business. Once they go big, they go cold, and that's that's doomsday for them.
Yeah,
it really is every business. It's just a matter of time. Whether it's 15 or 30 years, don't matter.
You should coin that
30
one.
years, there won't be no Prime.
Yeah,
nice,
awesome.
Wow, is there in 30 years? Is there going to be unlimited cargo with little Adrian, Adrian Jr. running Adrian?
I started trucking with a bunch of dudes, and they got 50, 60, 70, 100 trucks. A bunch of them, and I never thought that was a thing. I didn't think that they were going to make it, and I mean, they are doing. They're killing it.
That's nice.
Awesome.
It's just you know, capitalism, baby.
At its finest. At its finest.
The American dream, right?
Dropping the knowledge on boys today.
I tell you what,
love
Adrian, a lot of this conversation, we've got some clips out of here we could probably use for later shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And comments that Adrian's made. So, Adrian, we want to thank you for coming on the Ship's Gonna Happen show this morning. We'd love to have you back on again sometime if you'd be willing to come back and chat with us.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Big shout out to Adrian and Unlimited Cargo out there.
The hammer.
Sounds like if you want it done more efficiently than the big boys, give Unlimited Cargo a call. Adrian be glad to take care of you. Listen to the Ship's Gonna Happen show.
Adrian, awesome. Thanks for joining us today, and happy Saturday morning, and enjoy your weekend. You got anything else to say?
Friday.
You got anything else
Sounds
to
good,
say?
man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So happy Thanksgiving too, Adrian. That's coming up in a couple
You
of
too.
weeks. So
Yeah.
you have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah, all right, man.
All right.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Yep. Bye.
Man, how about that? Little
was awesome.
Unlimited Cargo.
Awesome.
He just drop it. What I saw him do was pat his chest at Prime.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want your business. I'm going to put you out of business.
That's right. I'd like to thank Dan at First Call Logistics for setting up that interview for us.
Absolutely.
this
Shout
morning.
out to them as well.
Yeah.
Another small company, again, small business, right?
yeah.
And Adrian has hopes to be a bigger business, which is awesome to have those hopes and aspirations to grow that large.
Damn good interview.
And it's guys like him that keep the supply chain moving that we often don't think about, right? And
Yeah.
here's a guy with minimal trucks making it happen.
Unknown heroes.
Yeah.
Good luck to Adrian and Limited Cargo in the
Yeah,
future.
thanks, Adrian. Yep, and first call. Thank you, David, for saying that. All right, so we are going to get into David B. is going to cover.
So that's fine, but I wasn't first on the list earlier.
Yeah,
but
man.
I'll be. No, it's
All
fine.
right.
That's
You're
fine.
always first. Get over it.
Vaccine mandate. David B.
So earlier this week, I was reading a story on Transport Topics that discussed drivers and vaccine mandates, and the Secretary of Labor says that the trucking industry would be exempt from this. So, but I don't think that's really official yet. So that's kind of what we talked with Adrian about that a little bit, and Adrian brought up a good point that, you know, the drivers are who they are. That's what's moving America. That's what's making things, you know, get delivered where they're supposed to be going to in a timely fashion. Don't be messing with their world. You know, they just want to be left alone. If they need to get, if they prefer to get a vaccine, they'll get a vaccine. But just, making a mandate is probably not a good thing. And going on to read this story on Transport Topics, they said, a lot of the drivers are considering quitting if this is something that they're made to do. Even losing 4% of the drivers will really screw this industry. So it's just something, that I kind of really wanted to read about and talk about a little bit this morning. Also going through here that, kind of OSHA's involved, and OSHA supersedes any other, what OSHA says goes, no matter what the local mandate is or anything.
Yeah.
So let's see what happened. I think January 4th
It's implemented,
is when
right?
everybody has to.
You know what the funny thing about, real quick about OSHA and DOT, in case you guys ever knew this is a little knowledge. I'm sure, especially you know this. OSHA labels for hazmat don't match up with DOT.
Right.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So, they match up, but they don't match up. So, OSHA has its own regulations and DOT has its own regulations. So, when someone ships any kind of hazmat or what could be considered hazmat or consumer ready type deal, OSHA is, maybe we get a hazmat guy on here one day and talk about it, but their labels are pretty similar, but they actually differ a little bit. And then what has to be placarded by DOT isn't regulated by OSHA, but what OSHA requires is completely different than what DOT regulates. And it's crazy to think that we move goods down the road and you have a federal, whatever I want to say company, but OSHA themselves does what it wants.
Yeah.
Does what it wants, even though both are feds or federal organizations per se, that the OSHA does what it wants and DOT does what it wants. And I think the difference is OSHA is workplace related and how to care for it in a workplace. DOT is concerned with public transit and things like that. So I think, and how they look at it differently must be with the space and how it's held or whatnot. I always, you're going to be outdoors when you're on DOT time versus OSHA. You could be indoors. I don't know. It's never it's always baffled my mind as why we don't line those two together, or why they're not lined together, and how OSHA can say, no, screw you, DOT, this is how I want it done. And DOT says, no, screw you, OSHA, this is how I want it done. And they both have different paperwork that must be done or abided by. And the OSHA part of it is all on the shipper. And at the end of the day, that's translated into the DOT, and then the DOT is all on the driver. It's almost like OSHA washes their hands once it gets on a truck.
No, thanks for clarifying. I didn't know some of the details
I didn't know
there
that either.
But my thing in you saying that, something I've been thinking about is I didn't know that OSHA wrote laws. I thought they recommended rules and things to be implemented, and then the government actually imposes the rules and laws. I don't understand why OSHA, you know what I'm saying, gets to say, hey, you know, you got to do this and you got to do that. They have to. I thought they had to get that approved. I didn't think they were.
And I thought OSHA was only about the products, not the, OSHA's there to protect the employees.
Yeah, that's
so maybe
true.
that's where the mandate, the vaccine mandate, they could get away with forcing that because
I don't know though.
Because their job is to protect the employees. You know, the federal government is to protect the humans. In regular life, and OSHA comes in to regulate workplaces to make sure equality. We can go diverse. We can go a lot of different ways with that, but OSHA, protect the health of them. OSHA is almost the employee union, not steward, but almost your union is OSHA is your
kind
union.
Of the guidance,
yes, for any employer or employee.
They've done a lot of good things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They've changed a lot of things where no offense to union companies or unions themselves, right? I support the unions. There's a lot of good places and things that the unions do for their employees that goes up and beyond what OSHA does. But I think OSHA was created by the federal government because everybody was going, back in the 40s and 30s and 60s. I mean, I know that's kind of out of whatever. Unions were tenfold what they are today. And that's because the employees all got together. I mean, look at what the teacher strikes up in Chicago and things, right? Just the unions are big, but OSHA kind of represents every employee out there to every employer. Yeah. And so they get a good baseline for every business there is. And then unions obviously take that and fight for a lot more items out of it. But it's all about safety, right? And that's what OSHA concerns is a human themselves. And then DOT is concerned with the traffic and the lives on the road.
Yeah, and I think the precipice of the beginning of the OSHA standards and stuff was as a kid growing up in the Chicago suburbs, they all made us read a book called Upton Sinclair's The Jungle. You ever heard of that book?
No.
All right. It's about the meatpacking industry in Chicago. You kind of referenced that time age, right? Well, that time frame. Well, what happened was there were rumors that there were kids working and that it was just an ungodly, awful, horrible situation because Chicago fed most of the United States with pork at the time. Still does, I think. So, long story short, Roosevelt sent Upton Sinclair, or sent one of his people from the White House to go to Chicago meatpacking factory to verify if Upton Sinclair's book was accurate because he was horrified by it. So lo and behold, he went there and found it and saw it, and that's when the child labor laws changed. That's when I think what we would call OSHA today started to form and put in work standards, the 8-hour work day, the 40-hour work week.
The what?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
So OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Administration, and it was created. Congress is actually the one that created it, so it was kind of a law.
Yeah.
When Congress is acting, it was the OSHA Act of 1970. And they birthed. I love the word birth now since I've learned about the ports and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But
birthing.
April 28th, 1971. So that is when basically every employee had a union.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
To ensure safe working conditions. And that's where a lot of the union...
It's a good way to think about it because that's really what it is. What it really did was...
It's your attorney at the end of the day.
Modified and made companies do things safe, right?
Right. And provide a safe work environment for every employee.
Yeah, because you don't know this, but when I was a terminal manager, there were certain things we'd use on the dock to move freight that wasn't OSHA, and you'd have to remove those things, right? Because they sometimes you battle in your mind like, man, that's kind of safe, right? It's not that unsafe, and you have a 3-wheel dolly, right? But got to be a 4-wheel, things like that, which. Well,
and then you think about they're the the health board of a typical workplace. And a lot of people, when you think of OSHA, you think of like chemical plants, paint plants, things like that, that's dealing with hazardous materials. That's not the case. If you go to any business out there, any business must have OSHA. You go to, you have to. If otherwise it's a violation. And then OSHA can show up at your facility any given time, unannounced, and do an inspection of everything. And you've got to have everything posted. It's got to be up to date. You got to have an emergency evacuation. There's a lot to going to owning your own business. I guarantee you, if we would ask Adrian in his trucks, he has OSHA stuff that's just stapled up there of the jargon that they've got, and it gets really in depth, and it's pretty interesting to know that we all have a representative out there.
I was just thinking why Tim said that.
You're smiling over there.
Well, you think
it's my belly, isn't it? It's growing, isn't it?
No, hey, I appreciate that OSHA stuff, because I was just thinking there. Somebody walking into a plant, with an OSHA badge on is probably pretty terrorizing to a company, right?
Oh, yeah.
OSHA's here.
The heck with intimidating the police officer, intimidating an OSHA inspector.
Right.
We should do that. I'll get hard hats, badges, reflective vest on, and a clipboard.
OSHA. Yeah. Timmy D. OSHA.
Timmy D's here with OSHA. Please walk me around.
They be feeding you, walking
Inspector Timmy D.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. But so, I think
that's how they can regulate it. That's how they can to work around.
Yeah. I think Adrian's right though, man, because you have a lot of independent drivers out there. I don't think it's so much.
40%, right? 60% independence.
I can't remember the exact number. It's high though. Is it? It might
First
be
Call
60,
Logistics. He just hit us with it.
60%.
Thank you, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
60%. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, so I don't think people have problem with the vaccine. It's the way they're going about it, right? It's kind of like you're forcing it, and I think there's people that have it that don't like being forced to, that normally would do it, and they just don't like being forced.
So between last week and now, if your employer still not said anything to you guys about our employer did, or my employer did.
I'm not going to talk about my.
That's fine.
This is different. We'll leave it where it's at. I'm not going to answer the question. I appreciate the question. It's a challenging question.
No, wait a minute. Yeah. My only question is have they got with you guys about the mandate? That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking.
The fifth.
All right.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's just be safe, be smart, do what the customer wants you to do. Wear a mask. Get the vaccine if you need to get it.
So, but part of this is I wonder, with your guys' companies, if the drivers fall under that mandate.
It's all company. It's the whole company, right? Yeah. You can't just say some of you need it, some of you don't.
Right.
And I think the company stance is, and I don't know this, right? I'm not at the top. The company stance is whatever is mandated to make a safe workplace. If OSHA says you have to have this, have a safe workplace, then the company has no option.
Right.
And they're not even giving them an option. That's the thing. The difference between the federal mandate that they're saying all these employers have to do this is they had to give those employers an outlet, which is the testing twice a week. But the thing is that cost is on the employer. So the workaround is you make OSHA mandate it in their regulations. And now it's not a law. It's not a federal thing. It's an OSHA compliance issue. And if you're not complying with OSHA, they have the right to shut you down. You get so much time to get it fixed. And that's the difference between what they're trying to do by going that route, which is very intelligent of them to try. Again, I think this society, we always put on blinders. I mean, I tried to order pizza the other night, and I said, I want the cheese on top. I don't want the toppings on top. That was just too much. I ended up not even ordering pizza. I just said, just cancel the order. She couldn't figure it out because blinders are here. She's never heard of cheese on top of her toppings, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know how hard that is just to write it on the ticket when it's printed. But nor here nor there. Again, it's a workaround, and they're using every avenue to get around it to do it. So that's where we're at. It's a good topic, and it's an interesting one. It's very political. Yeah. And just so you guys know, on the Shipsgonnahappen show, we try to not talk politics.
Nope.
Yeah. Don't care about it.
We don't care. We might piss some people off with other topics we have. We make people love us, and we can do the same thing with politics. We just try to keep it for the transportainment
side of things.
That's it. There we go.
Yeah. Well said.
Got to bring that into my repertoire.
You got anything else on that big boy?
No, we'll go to you.
All right, we'll get into.
You only get one shot at this.
Yep.
Get it? Come on, stay with me.
We got to get to random thoughts.
Oh,
too,
yeah, Dave's excited
But
about that.
no hurry.
Wait,
right,
I don't have a topic today. I'm just going to go off yours. So go with your
Shipping.
two.
There we go.
Here we
You did
go.
well.
Tony B, topic 2. All right, been doing a little look around in the shipping companies around the country and world, and meaning containers, truckloads, all sorts of trucking companies, LTL, well, whoever ships, right? Been looking at the revenue. And as you gentlemen well know, it's been a record year, right? So Maersk, who we've talked about before, right? They're the largest in the world. Check this out.
The largest container company in the world.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Largest container shipping company in the world. They are going to report making more money than they have in 117 years.
Wow.
That's astonishing. So they made.
So you're saying this year alone they'll make more money than they have combined?
Just the profit margin
I got you.
and all that. Like even in their inception, right? So
I understood.
they will make $5.9 billion in the third quarter. Right.
With a B.
Yeah. Okay. And then
He's got nothing on Elon Musk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He just gave up 5% of it, didn't he? And then you got, for the year, they will make $14.5 billion.
Wow.
Okay. So that's a lot of Jack-Ola, right? So
I guess I know who I'm going to get to help sponsor the Shipsgonnahappen.
there you go. Yeah. Maersk, we need help. So like its competitors, Costco,
Professional and professional.
yeah. So Costco too, all of them, their competitors are enjoying record profits too.
That's Costco, not the store.
Container shipping.
Minus the
thank you.
T.
Yep,
Yes.
exactly. Costco. The top 10 global container companies, shipping companies, control 80% of the market. It looks like from ocean, air, rail to ground, all carriers are reporting record profits. XPO, help me out. Record profits. So I'll just say the name and then you just say record profits. XPO,
Record profits.
ODFL,
Record profits.
Saya,
Record profits.
ArcBest.
Record profits.
That's what it is all around the entire shipping world. It's the first time they've ever had a couple years like this. So they're saying
I wonder if it's because they can't buy equipment, right? A lot of companies spend a lot of money. They can't get products, so they're just going on what they got.
So they're saving money with that.
Yeah.
Right. So it's been a good year. They don't.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. I'm just putting it out
Right.
there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They think that they will never see profits like this again. And Timmy D and I know been in this industry for a while. And, typically the trucking companies and LTL work on pennies on the dollar, right? So
Pennies on the dollar.
yeah.
That's not a lie.
no,
The
it's
margins
pennies.
are slim.
Yeah, it's very slim. So,
But there's so much of it. That's how they make their money,
Right.
right? There's billions, if not, there's trillions of dollars in the industry. So pennies on the dollar add up.
Typically your truckload, for you people out there listening, the truckload hires maybe take one or two shipments to maximize the 48,000 pounds. LTL will take multiple shipments on the truck. So hopefully you get 15, 20, 30 shipments on that truck, all paying a freight bill that is profitable.
It's all about that revenue on the truck,
Yeah.
right? So if it cost us, if it cost a company, let's say it cost us $1,000 to move a trailer from Indianapolis to Kansas City, the LTL market, what they try to do is try to get that $1,000. They're trying to get $4,000 on that $1,000 trailer versus your truckload carrier is going to say, okay, I want to get $1,500 for that same truckload one shipment because they're making right there. They're making $500 on on $1,000, right? So that's how the LTL. When you take a combined smaller shipments combined add up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
So David, in saying that, so from Tim and my side of things, we've been having pretty good success with trucking. I haven't seen it like this in a long time, never. So, but from your standpoint, is your company having like record year type
it's
thing?
up there. Yeah. That's kind of one of the things it's a good year. It's a really good year. It's probably it's a record year. We're taking our 8th price increase for the year.
And it's month
neither
11?
Neither one of you better take one on me.
So we need to talk about that.
Yeah. Flash Saturday morning news.
it's definitely definitely a really good year. We're just growing.
I think everyone's
like
busy. I think everyone's willing to pay. I think everyone's willing to pay more. We talk about the inflation. You see it all over the news. I think everyone's willing to pay more today because of the demand and it not being there. So when you quit making products for almost a year, like everyone in the world
pretty
did,
much, yeah.
And let's call it 7-8 months. But by the time you actually get up and running, it's a year, and you've lost a lot of experience. People just said, "Screw it, I'm retiring." Yet some people said, "I'm not coming back." And so you're just behind the curve. And everyone that was sitting at home still had money sitting around that they're just spending. And so they're consuming, but nobody's making. So you're going to run out of that product. And that's why inflation is going to go off the charts here, because of the demand. That same plant that you were buying, they still had to raise that plant at a harsher cost to them to get it done. And they know that there's a limited supply. So they're going to ask, supply and demand. It's pretty simple. It's a basic economics class in high school.
So did you finally get your oven?
No, I still have my stove. No.
Dang.
No.
What about David? You got your shipment in?
Oh, yeah, the New York from Germany.
Oh, yeah.
You got it?
You figured it out?
No.
No?
I mean, well, yeah, I hope nobody from work's listening, but the dumbasses sent it back to Germany.
It's going back?
It's going back to
because
Germany.
because the people,
No one in America
scammed.
wanted that?
They got scammed. Yeah.
Dang.
There's so many things I could say.
Yeah.
Did it go back on the exact same container it came in on?
Yeah, I'm not sure about
Hey,
that.
I need you guys to reload this. One spill, one fell over.
So
That's a lot of work, man.
The company we were working with to clear the shipment, they were like, we're washing our hands of it. Nope, we don't want anything to do with it. And so I had to kind of sweet talk him. I'm like, all right, I think we're going to end up sending this to Chicago to the vendor, and they're going to deal with it there. And they're like, this was like last Friday. And I'm like, okay. And then Monday came and I didn't hear nothing. Tuesday, nothing. I go, why am I not hearing nothing? And then the person that purchased the product or that bought it said that we're sending it back to Germany. And I'm just like, I'm out. I'm out.
Did you tell Germany it's coming back?
No, we didn't. We're out. The weird part in all of this is that we were just clearing the shipment. And I'm like, why are we clearing this shipment?
Is that container just going to happen to fall off the top in the middle of the ocean?
Right. Yeah, there you
The
go.
container no one wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Timmy D, so please tell me you and Lindsay haven't been cooking outside in this cold weather because you don't have an oven.
No. Although I've got the Blackstone griddle.
Oh,
This is perfect cooking weather.
I cooked some venison steaks earlier this week, Tuesday or Wednesday. I had to make some room. I'm gonna go hunting this afternoon and tomorrow to try to get some more meat. So I need to use some of the meat that we've got. And we've the house we had bought. It's got an induction top cook stove.
How long's it been, man?
We ordered it last October. It's November.
It's been a year.
It's over a year. Yeah.
So you track this thing? Like
I called and asked. He said, "I'll call you back. I ain't heard from you." So my buddy no longer works there because he was tired of telling people you'll get it in 3 to 4 months and it never shows up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know what to do now. At this point, we're just going to hold up. We're just going to wait till we see. And then when it arrives, we're just going to cancel it. We're going to ask for a refund, but we got to wait for it to arrive to do that.
Not sending it back to Germany or wherever it's coming from.
I was told it was in Mexico, but that's an easy response for them.
Yeah, there we go.
It's probably being used right now.
Well, I'm sure they probably buried my ticket somewhere. I'm going to have to go down there. And the thing is, it's a 50-minute drive to where we had bought it because my buddy worked there. It was a small appliance place that he worked at. I just always try to support that and my buddies. And yeah, so no, it's not here. Maybe that should be the tracking that we should do. Put some pressure. We should call Raphael.
Raphael.
Investigates or something, and figure this out. But, and we expected 6 months tops. We were thinking the springtime. The good news is we did not promise the appliance package to the new buyers of our old house. So it's not like they're waiting on it, missing a stove or anything. Right. They still got the 1990 stove in there. So good for them. Maybe they replaced it. I don't know. But, that was one of the things. And we were trying to tell the realtor and their realtor going through all this, like the fridge doesn't come with it. And the reason being is we actually purchased a whole new appliance package for the whole kitchen. We just only have the fridge. So we're bringing a new fridge with us. And we're waiting for other appliances. But we were planning on redoing this kitchen, but I think we kind of got comfortable with it now. So we'll probably just cancel it and just run with what we have at this point. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, it's over a year. Wow. I did get my shoes though from Singapore. They did show up. So
what's the name of those shoes again?
Hey Dudes.
There we go. Hey Dudes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which are YouTubers, by the way, that came out with their own shoe, and they're like huge. They're extremely popular and comfortable. I have a set on today, by the way.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
these aren't the ones I ordered, but I will tell you this. I think we're going to be all right on Christmas on shopping. I don't think we're going to run out. I think we're going to be okay. This big panic, I think the shelves will be bare afterwards. And I think some of your bigger targeted items will run out pretty soon, but that happens at every Christmas. I think this will be a good year, in my opinion, to help gift cards.
Yeah, there you go.
Go to a small restaurant. Make it we've talked about this. Make it an experience. As you get older, buy experiences for other people. Don't buy them gifts. You don't need to buy them a robe or this. Don't feel obligated to buy anybody anything. Get together for just dinner.
Yeah.
And I think gift cards are a good way, whether it's, $50 gift card to dinner here and just let it roll. And that way you can go and enjoy it on someone else and not have to worry about taking some crap back to the store. And I feel like I had to buy something for somebody.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't buy Tracy a vacuum unless I want it shoved up my ass.
Yeah.
What you should do, you should buy her a vacuum and put two Dave in care of Tracy and say, "Hey, look what I bought you for me to use." You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and that's a YOU.
That's right.
Apostrophe.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, fellas, that's all I had. David B's random thoughts.
Something different this week. We're going to go best of, worst of, and Tim almost ruined it for me earlier in the show. Let's do pizza toppings. Best of, worst of.
You want me to go? Pizza toppings? I don't know. I'm a meat guy. I mean, look at my belly. Right. What'd you say? I didn't build this temple overnight.
Yes, but we did it quicker than the Mayans.
I think we've had this discussion. It all depends on where it comes from. Our typical order is a pepperoni sausage. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. Yep. When I was a kid, it was cheese only. I'd throw a fit. Yep. And now I can do. I like meat lovers. I like a little onion, a little green pepper. I don't do mushrooms. I don't do anchovies. I don't do olives. Those are the three items that are not there. So when you order like a Works, you're going to have that crap on there, and I can't deal. Yeah. But if you order like a Supreme from a Donato's or a Pizza Hut, then it doesn't have that on there. You got the onions and the green peppers. So I like banana peppers on it. I'm not mad at that. And that's all I got.
Yeah, Donato's is awesome pizza.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of like Tim, but I'm kind of a pepperoni guy. I got to have pepperoni on it. If I can go with one topping, that's what I'm going to go with, is pepperoni.
Is there a worst of?
Oh, yeah. I don't really care for like an extra cheese pizza.
Okay.
Or that's just nasty to me. It's just too much.
Right.
What you got?
So I'm going to go worst of first. And I was hoping that we would all three agree on this, but neither of you two mentioned it. Who the fuck puts pineapple on a pizza?
I do.
I do. Of course you do.
You want, man.
I thought it was dumb. Pineapple pizza?
Oh,
a Hawaiian pizza?
Yeah. Hey, Jacob got brought home Giacomo's.
Oh, yeah.
And it had it on it. And I thought, no way.
You don't like the
sweetness
of it?
It was pretty good.
All right. So in fairness, I guess maybe I need to give it a try. It just doesn't sound like that.
It doesn't, but it is really
It is good.
A lot of Hawaiian pizza comes with barbecue sauce. So it's barbecue, Canadian bacon, which is ham, and pineapple. I like pizza sauce, onion, ham, and pineapple. One thing I will tell you before you get to your favorite topping. Well, no, get to your favorite topping because I think we all missed our actual favorite topping. So go ahead.
I'm the same with you guys, like meat. I'm not a meat guy. Like I said, like Tim mentioned, I didn't build this temple overnight. I'm not too particular. I don't mind anchovies on a pizza. I don't
really.
I don't.
You're
mind
old
that.
school.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had anchovies on a pizza. I don't mind it on there.
Extra anchovies, please.
Hey, I've got a date tonight.
There you
I'm
go.
making out with Tracy later. I'm going to get a lot of extra anchovies.
Hey, we all failed to mention cheese. Cheese is got to be everyone's favorite topping because it's on every pizza.
I like it, but I said it was like if it's too much. Like some people
extra
get the
cheese.
extra and it's just goopy.
Yeah. Like the people that, like, no adult, in my opinion only, no adult should order just a cheese pizza. You know, to me, that's an elementary.
It's like under
a
12.
younger-
That's
I went to lunch with a customer about a month ago. I don't know. He was just he was a worker in the warehouse, small company, and we made fun of him. The only thing he eats is chicken nuggets. So we went to Mexican, and they actually had dino nuggets. He had to order on the kids menu. And he's a grown ass man. But I got one of my best buddy grows up. That's all he eats. It's got to be chicken fingers or chicken nuggets. He travels
weird,
to China once a month for his supplier over there, and he goes, I stay at the same hotel because I know that the one place down there has chicken fingers
He
that
thinks
are
it's
edible,
chicken.
and that's all he can
Yeah.
have.
And he thinks they're fingers. So, yeah, he probably actually thinks they're fingers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I like just I'm not a big mushroom guy either. Like Tim mentioned, I'm just not a big mushroom
Shrooms. If you want some fungus, you can come lick the bottom of my feet. That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
And I've never been into like this artisan pizza things. I like the whatever. Like I'm gonna put whatever else on top of it.
Yeah.
It just seems weird, but yeah, definitely the meats and stuff for the favorite topping.
What's random too? I know you got to say.
And I only had so far. I only have the one. Driving over here, I think I only have the one today for whatever reason. Looking around, thinking, I think I've only got the one. When are we gonna put this thing live or get some video on this thing?
Whatever
We're gonna-
you guys want to do it,
when you
man.
when
we
you
can
start
do it.
showing up with your clothes on, you keep showing up without your clothes on. We can't put that on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, yeah. So
Yeah, we need to look into doing that.
we
gotta.
can
make
do
this
it. I mean,
video.
I've got the cords to do it. I got everything to do it.
That's our next
We can
step,
do it.
I think. We're
Yeah.
working on that, folks out there.
yeah,
We're
trying to improve the show in any
our IT
way.
is not there. Our knowledge in the industry is pretty spot on. But when it comes to IT type of items, we're not that
Stumbling
savvy,
through
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to mention, I know Tim touched on this earlier. Happy belated Veterans Day to both of you guys. Thanks for your
brother.
service to the country.
Thank you to everyone else out there.
Yeah.
And always thanks for everyone that supports
Yeah.
the vets and or the currents. Right? I always say I couldn't do it without the prior vets. So,
Right.
yeah, happy birthday. Shout out to the Marine Corps. 246 damn years. Started at a tavern, in case you was wondering.
Is that what day was that? Was that the 10th or
That
the
was the
11th?
10th. On
The 10th.
Yeah, it's always a day before Veterans Day. That's what the Marines do. A bunch of jerks. Just leave it right there. The hell with that.
There you go.
Awesome.
Good show. Shout out to Adrian on Unlimited Cargo. Shout out to Stanky with First Call Logistics helping us out with that, and good interview with him last week. And good to see you guys on a Saturday morning. Ship's going to happen.
Yeah, hope you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah, this is Ship's going to happen.
I see those lotto type tickets. Let's hope we win on those
I know.
tonight.
Got to turn those in. Hey, for hopefully a winner. Thank you guys. Everybody have a good weekend. All you drivers out there, be safe. Ship's going to happen out.
Good show.